to another edition of Have You Seen It? I'm your host, Denise, and this week it is time for another oldie but goodie. So, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that when I review an oldie but a goodie movie, that means that I don't have a my favorite actor segment and I don't have a nailed it segment. I'm just doing a deep dive and going back into the Wayback Machine and reviewing a movie that I enjoyed and is now an oldie but goodie. All right, so this week my oldie but goodie is the movie Jungle Fever, a Spike Lee joint that hit theaters in 1991. Yes, many moons ago. This movie is jam-packed with actors, some of them at that particular time. These actors were, your big name actors. You knew who they were when you heard their names. Some up and coming actors. And of course, if you have ever watched a Spike Lee joint, you know that he does use the same actors over and over again. So you might see someone in one movie and then the next Spike Lee joint, you'll see that same person as a totally different character. So that's kind of his claim to fame, if you will. You know that you're going to see an actor that you haven't seen in a while. All right, so this movie stars Wesley Snipes, Spike Lee. It wouldn't be a Spike Lee joint if Spike Lee wasn't in the movie. Sam Jackson, Samuel L. Jackson, Annabella Sciorra, Ossie Davis, Ruby Dee, John Turturro, Lynette McKee, and a very young Halle Berry. That's just a few. There are names that I totally left out of this, but if you wanted to revisit this film, you would recognize a few more actors. So in this movie, we have an interracial relationship that begins in the workplace. So you have Flip, who is played by Wesley Snipes. He is a married man, a successful man in his job, and he has a young child. He is seeking to move up the ladder of success at his job, but he's getting quite a lot of pushback. So he's moved this way quite a bit, but he's trying to move up. So already he's, in his feelings about that. In comes a temp. All right, this temp is played by Annabella Sciorra. She's young, she's Italian, she's pretty. And so the scene is set. And so as I was watching this movie, and I've seen it more than 2 times, and then I've rewatched it for this purpose, for this week, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching the movie, and I'm thinking, how could this situation have been avoided? This is a workplace relationship. And folks fall in love with each other at work all the time. That's nothing new. But when you are a married man, and from all accounts, a happily married man, how do you get yourself into this situation? Well, let's have not 1, but 2, maybe 3 late night dinners in the workplace, ordering out, and we're the only people in the building. I don't even think the custodian was still in the building during these occurrences where the two of them were by themselves. So you see the innuendo happening, okay? She starts it. So I watched this and I'm like, you started it, kind of, sort of. But he leaned in, if you will. And so the two of them do it right there in the office. And there you have a situation. And so the other characters in this movie provide a little bit of background for both of these main characters. You've got a woman who, grown ass woman, still living at home with her father and brothers, and she is taking care of them, and they really don't have a whole lot of respect for her. She just waits on them hand and foot. So then you have our main character, Flip, who has a brother, played by Samuel L. Jackson, who's a crackhead. And then he's got a crackhead girlfriend, played by Halle Berry. And so you then have this beautiful young woman who does have a boyfriend, but now she's not feeling him anymore. So then you've got his situation of, well, we were, in a great relationship. What's changed? Well, it doesn't help that his friends are racist and they're always coming down on him about the fact that he doesn't share their level of racism. So you've got all of this dynamic going on. Once the two of them are found out, all hell breaks loose, because you have that black man who wants a white woman scenario, or that storyline, or that stereotype that black men want white women. And so you have black women who are not feeling that situation. So his wife and her girlfriends have a really deep conversation about that type of dynamic. And then you've got colorism, because his wife is very light-skinned, but she has her own baggage about how she's had to live her life being discriminated and against and ostracized because she's light-skinned. And then you have him, who's got some feelings about being very, very dark-skinned. And so all of this goes on in this movie. It's the interracial relationship is problematic because once people find out about it, you've got the neighbors in the community who are coming down on the Italian girl who's dating this black man. Once her dad finds out, she gets a disturbing beat down. I totally forgot that scene. And when I saw it when I watched it again and saw how her father reacted to knowing that she's dating a black guy, he beat her down something terrible. And I kind of cringed because I totally forgot about that scene. So you have that physical abuse simply because you are a racist. And so as the movie progresses, we find out very quickly that the two really aren't compatible because they come from two different worlds, and their worlds are going to collide should they stay together because they're just so different. There was no real love, especially on his part. She may have been kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, thinking she's in love with him, but was she in love with him or his black skin? And was she just very curious? And was he very curious? So there you have it. My review, my oldie but goodie, Jungle Fever. All right, folks, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that like button. And remember, you can find me on BlueSky at HYSI. All right, moviegoers, you know what to do. Until next week, I need you to see a movie because I'm going to see a movie. Until next week, bye-bye.